town. We'll take a chance on a new doctor.
Now, this new doctor, he wouldn't be young and handsome, would he?
I don't know,
but you've heard that he is, and you'd like to find out for yourself, hmm?
Mother, how could you think... Anyway, you haven't any objections to going to a young, good-looking doctor, have you?
No, as a matter of fact, I don't.
I'll be out in a moment. Please be seated.
Vienna School of Medicine. Very impressive. I wonder why he came here.
Well, whatever the reason, I think the people in this town should be glad that he did come to Stockton. He could have gone elsewhere.
Yes, I suppose he could have.
I'm afraid that chemical reactions over a Bunsen burner don't have the courtesy to wait while a doctor greets his patients. How do you do?
How do you do?
I'm Dr. Belden, and I'm most sorry to have kept you waiting.
Well, I hope we didn't interrupt anything important.
I assure you, you have not. Mrs.
Barkley, Victoria Barkley. This is my daughter, Audra.
So nice to meet you, Doctor.
It's entirely my pleasure. You know, in the short time I've been here, I've heard more about your family than I have about Stockton.
Well, I wouldn't believe everything I've heard.
Please, make yourselves comfortable.
Doc. Found him hanging in the livery stable. He was barely breathing when I cut him down.
This way.
Mr. Gibbons?
That's right.
Everett Gibbons tried to take his own life?
No. The way he was tied up, somebody tried for him.
Easy. If you'll wait outside, please.
Victoria, I'm sorry you had to see this. I know you and Everett have been friends for many years.
30 years.
Well, I gotta be going. Doc, thanks. You did the best you could, considering.
Considering? What, I wonder? Dr. Marrar might have been able to save him if he'd been here. If I were, perhaps, 20 years older, more experienced.
Doctor, when I was a child, I had a filly colt that was struck by lightning. And when she died, and for a long time after that, I blamed those that tried to save her. You see, I didn't understand. Understanding takes time. A great deal of time.
Perhaps.
People have to get to know you.
Doctor, tomorrow evening I'm having the publisher of the Stockton paper for dinner. Won't you join us?
Well, thank you. I'd like to very much.
Good. Shall we say 7:30?
7:30 it is. Thank you again.
Mother, didn't you want to ask the doctor something about yourself?
Ask me what?
She hasn't been feeling well these past few days.
Oh, it's nothing serious. I have been a little bit under the weather.
You were running a fever last night.
Only because it was very warm and I was tired. And if I don't look well now, Doctor, it's because it's lunchtime and I'm very hungry.
Well, if you're sure, you know it'll only take...
No, it won't be necessary, Doctor. My children have a tendency to over-worry about my health. They don't know I plan to outlive them all. Good day.
Good day.
There you are, Martin.
Thank you, Victoria.
More cake.
Oh, no thanks. However, I could use a spot of brandy in this coffee if Jared would have a mind.
Just as soon as I put this 12 ball in a corner pocket.
Then I'll help myself. That'll cost you.
And you, too, if the good doctor's eye is as sharp as it's been all evening.
I'm afraid it's more a question of pure luck than a sharp eye. I haven't played pool in years, not since my father taught me as a boy.
Easy now. You're holding your cue too tight, son. Yeah, that's better. Nice shot, son. You're getting pretty good. Before I know it, you'll be showing me how it's done.
Oh, no, Father. It'll be a long time before anybody can come near you in a game of billiards.
Thank you, but don't advertise that around town. I'm a banker, and some people think that billiards is a game invented by the devil. They expect a banker to be a saint, you know. Truth is, saints don't make good bankers.
Was he, Doctor? Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to disturb your concentration. I was just wondering if your father was as cautious as you are.
My father wasn't cautious in the least. A 12 ball in the corner.
Your father did a good job. You're winning, sir. Now, how about a chance to recoup?
You, baby. I've still got a special edition to put to bed.
A special edition? What about Martin?
Eb Gibbons' murder.
Oh?
Is this some new development?
You might say that. Sheriff found a note in the livery stable yesterday. Killer must have pinned it to Ev's body and it fell off. It was done in straw. Oh, wait a minute here. Made a tracing of it.
For what they did together, all will die as he did. That looks like the scroll length of a child.
I know.
Now, obviously, the meaning didn't come from the mind of a child.
But what they did together, all will die. Kind of sounds like he intends to kill again.
Yeah, that's what we're afraid of.
Sounds frightening.
Yes, I know, Audrey. But the one thing about a killer is that he always trips himself up. Well, I've got to go.
Oh.
Victoria, it's been delightful as always. And I wish you'd invite me more often. We don't see enough of each other. You know, you've been looking a mite on the pale side this evening. I've never known you not to have roses in those cheeks.
I never felt better.
Don't bother to show me out. I know the way. Jared, Audrey. Good night. Nice meeting you, Doctor. Oh, I'll see we get your name in print so folks will know you're around.
Thank you.
Night, Victoria.
Good night.
Well, I'd better be running along, too.
Oh, can't you stay for another cup of coffee?
Thank you, but it is getting late, and Mr. Erskine is right. You are looking a little pale. May I suggest some rest? There have been a few cases of influenza going around.
Oh, I'm sure it's nothing but a slight cold, but thank you for your concern. And thank you for coming tonight.
This has been the most delightful evening I've spent since I've been in Stockton. Good night, Audrey. Good night.
Good night, Doctor.
Good night.
I'll see you to the door.
I'm almost done, Father. Only one more.
Audra.
Jared, what are you doing up so late?
I was doing some reading and dozed off. What's your excuse, young lady? Do you realize it's past 3 o'clock in the morning?
Jared, I'm worried about Mother. She's been restless all night, and now she has a fever.
A fever? All right, I'll ride into town, get Doc Belton out here right away. Sheriff.
Jared, I know it's late, but this is very important.
Yes, of course. Come on in.
Thanks. Well, it's happened again. Martin Erskine was killed tonight.
What? How'd it happen?
Same way. I found him in his office. He'd been hanged just like Gibbons.
It's impossible to believe. Was there another note?
Yeah. Yeah, there was. That's why I'm here tonight. Read it.
This is number 2. Sweet dreams. Victoria Barkley. You're number 3.
Jared, what was your mother's connection with Evan Martin?
None. None at all, except that they were friends. Good friends.
Yeah, I know that. But beyond that, that first note said, for what they did together, all will die as he did. Now, were they partners in anything? In a business or something?
Never.
Jared, I think you better get your mother down here. We got to talk to her.
No, Sheriff. I don't want to wake her. She hasn't been feeling well, and this would only...
Yeah, well, all right, but we got to talk to her as soon as possible. Meanwhile, she's got to have protection.
I'll take care of that. Nick's out on the West Range. I think I'll get him back here, too.
Well, that's a good idea. How about Heath?
No, he's up in the hills chasing Mustangs. There's no way to reach him. Sheriff, do you mind if I make a tracing of this?
No, right ahead. You think someone might recognize the handwriting?
I plan to find out.
It's unbelievable. Just unbelievable. First, Mr. Gibbons, then Erskine, and now your mother.
Now, don't worry about her. She'll be well protected.
Yes, of course. And you did the right thing in not telling her.
I'm sure it's nothing serious with Mother, but we'd all feel better if you take a look at it.
Oh, yes, certainly.
Good. Thanks, Doc. By the way, Audra doesn't know about the note either. I think it's better to leave it that way until we have some answers.
I won't say a thing to her.
Good. Maybe I'll see you at the ranch later. When'd you get here, Nick?
Oh, about a half hour ago.
Mac fill you in?
Yeah, everything about it. I just told Audra I got home sooner than I expected is all. Anything new?
Oh, not really. I took the note over to Emily Pearson, see if she might recognize the handwriting.
Looks like it was written by some kid.
It wasn't written by a kid, but whoever wrote it wants us to think that. Doc Belton is still here?
Yep.
Why?
Well, at first he thought it was influenza. But now he knows it's pneumonia.
You looked up, son. That's why you missed.
I guess I don't feel much like playing. I was thinking about what Mother said at dinner tonight.
Son, I did what I thought was right. As a banker, I had certain responsibilities. A little more time, everything would have been fine. I'd have been a hero instead of... Your mother called me a fool, didn't she?
Whatever she thinks, she's wrong. I know she's wrong.
Thank you, son. If you believe that, then I'm not alone. I'll never be alone.
You're not alone, Father.
There's someone in here.
No, there's no one here, Mrs. Barkley. Perhaps you heard someone in the hall.
What is that?
Something to make you sleep.
No, I don't want to sleep. I don't want to sleep.
Please, Mrs. Barkley.
Doctor.
You're ill. This will help you.
I want to see my family. Where are my sons, my daughter? I want to see them. Please, doctor, please. They are my reason for living, don't you understand? If you take them away from me, if you don't let me see them, I will die. No. I'm sitting there. Jared.
You'll sleep now, Mrs. Barkley. Yes?
Dr. Belden, it's Audrey. May I come in? Dr. Belden? Dr. Belden?
You'll live now, Mrs. Barkley, I promise. You've just given me every reason for a mother to live.
Is something wrong?
No. No, she's sleeping.
Doctor, you look tired. Why don't you get some rest?
Oh, you're the one who needs rest. Please, why don't you try to sleep? I'll call you if there's any change.
Oh, no, really, I couldn't. Nick will show you where the guest room is.
Well, if you insist, I'll nap for a few minutes on the sofa in the hall. All we can do now is wait.
Doctor? Won't you come in, Doctor?
Oh, Audrey. No. That can't be the same patient I saw there a little while ago.
Hello, doctor.
Would you look at him? I just can't believe it.
Yes? There's no doubt about it. The fever's broken. You ought to be able to celebrate in a few days if you do exactly as I say. The temperature seems to be normal now, but it's very important that you keep warm. And rest, plenty of rest, along with a teaspoon of this every 3 hours.
Audrey says you've been here since 4 o'clock.
For this moment, I would gladly have come sooner.
Thank you very much, doctor.
No thanks are necessary. I only did what had to be done. Oh, when this bottle's used up, would you stop by my office? I'll refill it.
Afternoon, Jared. Nick?
Afternoon.
Oh, well, how's your mother feeling?
Much better, thanks. Be up and around in a couple of days.
Good, I'm glad to hear it. Nick, things been quiet around here?
Yeah. What brings you out, Sheriff?
This telegram came from Martin Erskine this morning.
From Martin?
Yeah.
Janet Davis died insane 2 years ago. Whereabouts of son unknown. Would have answered sooner, but the catfish are biting. Regards, Jackson, St. Louis Courier.
So?
I didn't think much about it at first, Nick, but then I realized that Martin telegraphed St. Louis just hours after we found Everett Gibbons in the livery stable.
Janet Davis. You know, it's funny, I remember that name, but I don't know why.
Yeah, well, I wired that Jackson fella in St. Louis, and here's the answer I got. Shocked over tragic death of Martin Erskine. Regarding Janet Davis, suggest you refer to Stockton Eagle bank files for full account on her husband, Emery Davis, and Miner's bank failure.
Miner's bank? That was years ago.
Yeah, well, I think we ought to investigate this whole thing further.
All right. Best place to start would be Martin's office.
Good. I'll meet you back in town. Barney.
Nick, I'll spell you just as soon as I get back.
Jared? Are you going into town? I have to get Mother some medicine. Can I go with you?
Why, Miss Barkley, I should be delighted to have your enchanting company.
Nick, where'd the sheriff want?
Well, we lost a couple of head of cattle, and, well, he had a couple of leads he thought we should know about.
Your carriage awaits?
What is all that with the hand kissing?
Crude fellow. Knows nothing of continental manners? Giddy up.
Continental man.
Ooh, I'll be in my office for a few hours, so I'll pick you up about 3, all right?
Fine, I have some shopping to do anyway.
Giddy up.
Audra, if you're planning to go in and see that doctor, well, I just wouldn't advise it. Oh, the nerve!
Mrs. DeCoven, what happened?
In 20 years, Dr. Morar never asked me to take my clothes off. Audra, I warned you now.
Audra.
Dr. Belden, shame on you. I just saw Mrs. DeCoven.
Oh. Well, unfortunately, I'm discovering that diagnostic techniques have advanced more rapidly than some patients' understanding. I trust that your mother is improving.
Well, she doesn't want to stay in bed any longer, and she's starting to give orders again.
Ah, that's a sure sign of recovery.
Yes, thanks to you.
She's a good patient. And I might add, she has a very competent nurse by her side.
Well, I did try to keep after her to take her medicine. She finished it this morning.
Good. I'll refill it. Just take a few minutes.
Nothing. Keep this up much longer. I'm going to need glasses. What are you doing?
Just going through these indexes again. Martin published a pretty good newspaper, but he sure didn't know anything about keeping records. G's filed under W. Here, take a look at this. First Zeldin's obituary, filed under O. Now, wait a minute. O for obituary.
Well, we looked under D for Davis. Where do you suppose it'd be?
I don't know. Why don't you start over here? I'll take these, and we'll check every file in here.
Oh, there we are.
Thank you. Well, I know you must be busy, so I'd better be going.
I was thinking of taking the day off. Maybe taking a quiet drive through your beautiful countryside. I find that most relaxing.
It sounds lovely.
I was thinking, perhaps you'd do me the honor of joining me?
Well, thank you, but I'm supposed to meet my brother at 3.
I'll have you back before 3, I promise.
Well,
The idea doesn't appeal to you?
on the contrary, I'd love to go.
Wonderful. Wonderful. If you just wait outside, I'll close up the office.
Is something wrong, Doctor?
Well, for one thing, that doctor, it's pretty formal under the circumstances. Do you suppose we could make it Jim?
All right, Jim.
That's better. Audra, there's an old ranch house down that road. I've been there on several occasions. It fascinates me. Would you like to see it?
If you'd like.
Or perhaps you'd rather go on.
No, I'd like to see it.
Good. Good.
Despondent over failure of the Miners Bank, which closed its doors after this newspaper revealed that Davis had overextended the bank's capitalization, investing in worthless mining ventures. Heavy withdrawals created a run on the bank and forced its closure when depositors learned that the principal investors, namely Everett Givens and Victoria Barkley, had withdrawn their funds in support for what they did together.
Martin made a note here. See follow-up June 15th. Jared, here it is. Widow leaves town. Mrs. Emery Janet Davis, with her 9-year-old son, departed this morning's stage. Eastbound for St. Louis, presumably to take up new residence in that city. The Davis family holdings, including the ranch home northeast of town, have been turned over to the county clerk for disposition. Well, that must be that old place that the county is always trying to sell every year for taxes.
Yeah. Son finds body hanging in study. Sheriff, why don't we get a couple of horses and take a little ride?
You know, Audra, there's something about being here. It must be the quiet. As though time's standing still. Any man who would build something like this must have had a wife. Children. I mean, look around. Isn't this an expression of love?
You have quite an imagination.
Perhaps.
Jim?
What?
You did want to show me around, didn't you?
Yes. Yes, of course. Why else would I bring you here? You must imagine the house as it was. with fresh paint and paper, comfortable furniture, and there was always a fire in the fireplace.
Right now, that's not too easy to imagine.
Really, I can see it very clearly.
This looks like it was a billiard room.
Yes, this was the billiard room.
Jimmy, you all right?
Yes. Perhaps you'd prefer to see the kitchen. It's back that way.
Fine.
Jim, I thought you were helping your father pack.
No, he's still in his study. I didn't want to disturb him.
Nonsense. It's time to leave. You'd better go tell him.
All right, Mother. I'll tell him. I'll tell him.
Don't be frightened. I'm not going to hurt your mother. No. No, that would be senseless. Waste. She as much as said so herself, you know. Her death would prove nothing. Oh. What yours? Hey, see, your mother would suffer that. As he suffered. And as my mother suffered. You see? Audra. It won't take long. No. Audra. It won't take long. I told you, it won't take long at all. And you see, Father would be so pleased. Shut! You butt. Listen to me. Shh. It'll be quick. I promise you. I'm a doctor. I wouldn't hurt you. I couldn't hurt you, please. Oh, drive! Listen to me! Now the others. Gibbons. Martin Erskine. No, I didn't care. I didn't care about them. They deserve what they got. But you... You know, be different with you. Don't you understand? I don't want to do it. But I must. No! Yes? Father expects it. Yes, I must. I can't let him down. I got to do it for him.
You're insane!
Oh, no, don't say that. That's not true. I mean, he wouldn't believe you. He wouldn't. Please.
Help! Somebody please help me!
Audra.
That sounded like Belden.
Yeah, around back. Listen to me, I have to! Father expects it!
Belden!
Who are you? Go away! You know right here. You better get off this ranch. This is my father's ranch, you know.
Where's Audra? What have you done with her?
Nothing. I haven't done anything. I guess she didn't like it here. Why'd she run away? Go away! You hear me? Go away!
Hold it, Doc. Right there.
I'll tell. You can't stop me. You know right. You can't stop me. Go away!
Oh, she's hungry. Silas brought her a bowl of soup, but she'd have none of that. I think she wants a steak about 3 inches thick.
Well, that's a good sign. Where is she?
She's in the gunroom with Mother.
Oh. Remember, Chef, she likes it nice and rare. Well, you ladies are looking lovely this evening.
Jared?
Mother, Audra.
Is it over?
Yes, Audra, it's over. We buried him beside his father.
It's all so hard to believe. He seems so kind, so gentle.
Audra.
You know, I've been thinking about those notes he left. It's almost as though he wanted someone to stop him, wanted to be caught.
Jared, maybe someday there will be a better understanding of things like this.
Maybe. Well, I am starved. I think I'll join you.
As late as it's getting.
Tell you what. I go down, further down the line, and you, follow up here.
That's what I figured.
What's that?
Well, that just gives me about twice as much fence to check as you.
Well, you're young and healthy.
It'll be dark before I'm through. Maybe I'll spend the night in the lion shack. Come on in the morning.
Suit yourself.
Barkley. What can I do for you? Remove your weapon. Look, if you fellas are figuring on robbing me, well, I gotta... Silence! Now hear my words. On the morrow, you'll stand before a tribunal of my people to be tried on a charge of murder. For murder? There's no more to be said. Now get on your horse. Look, mister, I don't know what kind of loco talk you're making, but Enough! He'll be punished properly at the trial. Now put him on his horse. Hurry! The day wanes and we must travel far.
Well, are you ever going to move it? All right, that's 3. Now, you want to try for 4?
You just caught me when I was very tired from riding a fence all day.
Saddest story I've ever heard.
Yeah.
Isn't Heath here yet? Dinner will be spoiled if we wait much longer.
No, and as late as it is, I doubt if he'll be coming in at all.
Well, we'd better eat then. Although I must say, I don't like the idea of his eating from a tin can in that lime shack.
Especially if he knew we were having a beef roast.
The truth of the matter is, I think Heath was looking for an excuse to spend the night out on the range.
You're probably right. Heath told me that once in a while he likes to be off by himself, do a little thinking. Says it makes him appreciate it more when he gets back.
It is?
Pig! Kill him. Kill him right now!
You'd find no gratification in such an action, my child.
Yes, I would.
Silence! When the sun rises, then will he be judged.
And punished according to the laws of our people.
So be it. Now fetch him some food, child. Into the cage. Wait a minute.
See what else he's got.
All right. Uh-oh, looky here.
Hey, that's real nice.
Give me that.
How much money you got there, Brother Cyrus?
It counts to better than $20. Okay. Hey, ain't that a lot for him?
You know, Brother Cyrus, for 5 years of living with a man as sick as her husband was in this long period of mourning, well, it ain't good for either her or you.
I know, Brother Benjamin. I know. And I aim to speak to Brother Hammett about that.
Quiet, brethren. We will begin. State your name.
You know my name.
This court has been convened, Heath Barkley, to judge you on a charge of murder. Have you anything to say before sentence is passed?
I don't know what this is all about. But if you think I murdered somebody, then you should turn me over to the sheriff.
No. You killed one of our people. Therefore, you should be tried by our laws. I am no judge, and they're your jurors.
I tell you, there's some mistake. I didn't kill anybody.
You killed this woman's husband.
When?
5 days ago.
Mister, you're wrong. 5 days ago, I was home working on my family's ranch, and I can prove that.
He died 5 days ago from a bullet you put in him 5 years ago.
What are you talking about?
His name was Joshua, and he was a man of peace. Yet on the 3rd day of March in the year 1872, while passing by night on the road near White Springs, you accosted him, attempted to rob him, and then shot him. If you deny this, you lie.
I don't deny I was around White Springs about that time. And I shot at someone. The man was trying to rob me. I was bedded down for the night, and he was trying to steal my horse.
Silence. Then you admit you shot Joshua.
I only admit that I shot at someone. I don't know who. I don't even know if I hit him or not.
Your mark was true. The bullet lodged in his back. It could not be removed. It slowly spread poison in his system until that poison killed him.
He was paralyzed from it. He had no feeling from the waist down. He could feel nothing at all. He couldn't walk. He couldn't do anything. For 5 years, he was like that.
I had to carry him. Every place he went, like a little baby.
But can't you understand? I didn't murder him. I was only protecting myself and what was mine.
It's Joshua's word against yours.
But he's dead. Look, can't you see I'm not the kind of man that goes around robbing and killing people? Doesn't anybody believe me?
What say you, brethren? Does he speak the truth? So be it. Heath Barkley, you have been found guilty as charged.
I tell you, I'm not guilty.
Your sentence has been prescribed. Eye for an eye, tooth for tooth, hand for hand, and foot for foot. Therefore, as you have taken away life, you must replace it with your own.
You can't kill me for something I didn't do.
I did not say you'd be put to death. I said you must replace it with your own life. You will replace the one that's been taken from us.
What do you mean by that?
In time, perhaps you will learn the goodness of our ways. We are a simple people. We ask for little and take only what Providence provides. We live in righteous fear and look upon one another for sustenance. You, therefore, will provide as Joshua provided.
I don't understand what you're talking about.
By your hand, this woman was left without support or provision. Accordingly now, you will serve her as you're directed.
What do you mean, as I'm directed? You can't make me serve her or anybody else.
You will do as you are told, work as you're directed, and live out your days in penance. In doing so, you have been given your only hope for salvation.
What's it going to be, Brother Barkley? You gonna behave yourself so as we can get along?
Tell him what to do.
I need wood for my fire. It gets cold at night, and I like a nice big fire.
Come along.
this is hard to figure.
Why?
Why Heath didn't get to this part of the fence. I left him just a little beyond here.
Maybe he went after some new wire.
If he wanted wiry to come home for it, he wouldn't have stayed at the line shack.
Might be trying to get in some extra bunk time.
Uh-huh. Well, now, we'll just see to that.
And on the other hand, maybe he isn't.
That enough?
I said I liked a big fire.
That's right, you did. Well, I can't say as I blame you. Warm fire can be kind of comforting to someone who's alone.
Helps.
I'm sorry.
What for?
That you lost your man. That you're alone. No woman should be like that.
Listen, don't you try to soft talk me.
I just said I'm sorry. And I am.
You waste water like it was real easy to get. Well, it ain't. It's got to be carried up from the lake. So from now on, that'll be your job. Now, you get back into your cage. Evening, Bettina. You got enough wood?
For a while. I brung us food.
Well, I'd say that's right fine if I was an old hog. Yeah, lie down there and slop it up.
Don't. If you kill him, you'll be doing him a favor.
All right. I don't want to do him no favors. Bettina, sit down. I want to talk.
What's about?
About you and me. About what I've been saying to Brother Hammett. It ain't right. Us two being the only ones hereabouts that ain't... Bettina, you know I got a feeling for you, don't you?
You forget I'm in mourning for a year.
Well, Brother Hammett could fix that if you was of a mind.
I don't think so.
Time, woman. Just give it a little more time.
Yeah, I sent Collins out to scrape up some more men. He's going to meet us down at the West Gate.
We'll find him. Don't you worry, we'll find him.
It's been 2 nights, Jared.
We know.
That enough?
fog, maybe. But you gotta remember, we got a lot of mighty thirsty horses back to camp. So you just keep right on hauling. You and me and Brother Hammett's going to ride down the valley tonight.
What about him?
If we ain't back by morning, Brother David will keep him busy.
Oh, I reckon her seeing him work like that kind of satisfies the hate she's got for him.
Just so it don't satisfy it too much.
Where are they going?
Hunting.
At night?
There's fresh meat in the valley.
I mean, there are cattle herds in this valley. Straight all over at this time of year.
If a dumb animal's guided us, we accept it as a gift of Providence. Here's your food.
Providence, huh? Well, that kind of thinking might explain a lot of things.
What do you mean?
Nothing. But if I wait long enough, maybe Providence will provide me with something a little more digestible. Good night. Come along, Brother David.
You're wasting your time. There's nothing under that dirt but rock. Besides, you couldn't get far anyway. Cyrus's dogs won't allow it. They'd catch you and tear you apart if you tried to escape.
Is that for me? Providence moves in mysterious ways.
You'd be no good to me or anyone else if you didn't eat.
That's the kind of stuff Hemet lets you read?
Nobody knows I have it. I found it. You been to places like that?
San Francisco, Barbary Coast, sure, lots of times.
Is it a place of sin?
Well, it depends on how you look at it.
Those women. You find them attractive?
Well, I suppose so. Of course, there's a lot of different ways a woman is attractive to a man.
Am I attractive?
I'd say so. To men like Cyrus and some of those others.
I don't care about them. I'm asking you.
Well, I might be able to give you a better answer if you'd clean yourself up and started looking the way a woman should.
Fred.
Evening, Victoria. Still no luck. Now, Nick and Jared asked me to come by and tell you they're going to bed down the lion shack tonight. And we'll all start looking again at sunup.
Well, thank you very much. I guess I'll go to bed now. Good night.
Good night.
Who's there? Leave whoever you are before you're shamed. You hear me? Come on.
You can't escape. If you run, they'll kill you.
They can't kill me if they can't find me.
I'll tell them.
No, you won't. Not if you're any kind of a woman, you won't.
How do you know what kind of woman I am? So you can find out. If you see I can speak to Hemi.
No.
Please. I'll do anything you want.
I'm sorry.
They'll find you. They'll bring you back. And you'll be sorry.
Where's Barkley?
He attacked David and he ran off over there.
You take this road. I'll circle about. Pete Bartley, you move one step closer to that horse and I'll be forced to blow your brains out. Temper justice with mercy, Cyrus. Let him down. Now understand me. We are not of a savage nature, but rather a gentle people. For we believe that forgiveness is better than revenge or punishment. I hope by now that you have learned the hopelessness of trying to escape. For the next time, your punishment will not be so simple.
Seeing as how you people are so gentle, so understanding. My family. Their minds are to be set at ease. At least let them know they don't have to worry about me anymore. I mean, you'd expect the same consideration, wouldn't you?
It would weigh heavy on my conscience if others suffered because of your sins. What have you that they may know, would recognize?
I had a coin on a chain. He took it.
Give it to me. I will consider the matter. Now see him to his tasks. And be wary.
All right, move. You ain't even finished hauling water. Move!
It is only right that his family be set to ease.
It's like he's just vanished. We're running out of places to look.
You sound like you're giving up.
Nobody's giving up, Mother. It's just that the men, well, they're getting tired and they want to get back
Well,
to
then
work.
get other riders.
We already have. There'll be a dozen men here ready to ride at sunup. Good night, Mother.
Good night, Mother.
It's his lucky coin.
The living know that they shall die, but the dead know not anything.
You would do well to put Heath Barkley from your memory. He is as a dead man.
Oh, no.
Oh, wait a minute. It says as a dead man.
Not is a dead man.
Hey, seeing as how we so close to Stockton, what do you say we go on in and have a little refreshment?
I say that's a good idea. A real good idea.
Go away. Let me sleep.
I brought you some coffee. Please, I want to speak to you.
Some other time.
I say again what I said by the lake. I could make life better for you. I could speak to Emmett.
What about?
About you're taking me for your wife. did so much to your dislike. I bathed for you. You saw me. And my hair, I washed it and combed it. Do you like it?
Yes, I do.
Then you like me as a woman.
There's a lot more goes into being a woman than just taking a bath and combing her hair.
I feel like a woman. When men look at me, I feel like a woman.
What men? Cyrus, some of those others? They're not men, they're animals.
My husband was just like them. I married him because I was told to. I didn't love him, I couldn't. For a long time, I thought I could never love anyone. Any man. Because I thought they were all like that. But now I'm not sure. You looked at me by the lake and you said, I'm sorry. Please, I don't want your pity.
Wake up, child. Wake up, I say.
You gotta understand, Brother Hammond, it wasn't his fault.
He partook of liquor, did he not?
Well, that's what I mean. It was the liquor. You know how it makes him. He couldn't help himself.
That'll be all, Brother Benjamin. Ah, my child. What is it? Did you not sleep well?
I was restless.
It's understandable, very understandable. Considering the trying times you've endured, a woman all alone without... My child, I've decided it'd be wrong for you to suffer any longer. A woman is only made whole by the bonds of marriage, and that's how it should be.
You wish me to remarry so soon?
I wish only for your happiness. Therefore, I decree that your period of mourning be ended. And on the morrow's sun, I will bind you in wedlock to Brother Cyrus.
Cyrus?
Who else among us is without a woman, or sheep without a man? It is ordained. Come now. Be happy for your salvation from loneliness.
As you wish.
That's better. Now, about the money your departed husband left you. I believe it was $100, was it not?
Yes.
I'll need $50 of it as a dowry for Brother Cyrus. Now.
Now? I don't understand.
He's been put in jail in Stockton. The money is necessary for his release. And what better use could the money be put to than in behalf of one's betrothed?
I get it. May I go with you? I need cloth for a proper wedding dress.
I'll have the wagon hitched. Be ready in 5 minutes now.
Question about it, this gives us reason to hope. I'll round up the men and meet you out at the ranch in about an hour, all right?
We'll be ready.
Come on.
Now you go purchase your cloth while I get Cyrus.
What's that? That's called perfume.
Here, have a sniff.
How much is it?
The small bottle's $1.
$1. Stuff sure just smell good. You sure do have a lot of nice things in this store.
Why don't you take a look around? You don't have to buy anything you don't want.
Thank you.
Peace, brother.
That purplish cloth sure is pretty.
I'm afraid it's very costly. It isn't cloth, it's pure silk.
I need something like that for my wedding dress. See, I want it to look like this.
Bettina, we're ready to go.
I'm sorry, I'm still looking.
She was just showing me a picture of the dress she wants to make.
A dress like that is not for you. It's the cloth of a scarlet woman. This is more fitting. What is the price?
$3.
Pay for it and keep us waiting no longer.
I'll get your size.
Please, I have to hurry.
Audra had that dress made for this photograph last year.
There's no doubt about it. It had to be torn from the family photograph.
Heath carried one around like that in his wallet, only smaller, same as me. What I'd like to know is where'd the girl get it?
Fred, have you got any idea where they might be camping now?
Well, this being the dry season of the year, I'd expect they'd be back in the hills near the lake. At least that's where they camped 2 years ago.
Well, you take your boys and try Blue Lake, and we'll take ours and get shot.
All right.
Well, good night, Brother David.
Good night, Brother Cyrus.
You miss me today, Brother Berkeley? Well, don't you worry. Because after Bettina and me gets married in the morning, we'll have the rest of the day. Just you and me. And the next after. For just as long as you say. Bettina, you hear me?
I'm in bed, Cyrus. What do you want?
Well, I come to say goodnight.
Thank you, good night.
That's all?
I'm very tired, Cyrus. I'm going to sleep now.
Well, all right. Good night. I'll see you in the morning.
call it perfume. Is it too much?
Well, considering the rest of this place, no. It's kind of nice. Cyrus should be pleased.
I didn't buy it for Cyrus. I bought it, well, to prove to you that I can be a woman.
But, Tina, you are a woman. It's just that...
What? That I'm not enough of a woman? You could teach me. I can learn. It takes a man to teach a woman, doesn't it? The others, Cyrus, and even the man that was my husband. You were right when you said they're animals.
But you're marrying Cyrus tomorrow.
I can't marry him if I'm not here, can I?
You'd run? To where?
Anywhere you take me. I know where they keep the key to the padlock.
We'd need horses.
I can get them.
What about the dogs?
I'll take care of them.
Understand one thing. In case you want to change your mind. Now, there are laws, civilized laws that'll keep them from taking you back. And I'll see to it. And I'll help you get a new start. But as for me, I'm not part of the bargain.
You're a man, Heath Barkley. The only man I've ever known. And I'm learning already. I think I would be disappointed if you were part of the bargain.
Well, there's nothing around here. Let's try Pine Lake. It's 2 miles on up.
Dress. I had another one. A pretty one. All picked out. But him wouldn't.
She's dead.
Him. It's his fault she's dead.
All right, hold it right there. Throw him down, boys.
You all right?
I'm all right.
This girl was to be wed on the morrow. Why? Why, in the name of justice, couldn't the bullet have found you instead of her? She was trying to help you escape, wasn't she? Why? Why? For 5 years, her heart cried out for vengeance.
You're wrong. It wasn't vengeance.
You corrupted her. The days you spent with her, you stole into her mind like the serpent of Eden. You made her see evil as good.
No. I just gave her a chance to see herself as she could be. As a woman.
You turned her against her own people. Against the memory of her own husband.
Against living here in darkness.
The darkness is outside in your world, where sin and temptation blot out God's light. We kept Bettina away from Satan's reach.
And away from life. There's a lot that's bad in the world. But hiding from it isn't the answer. You've got to fight it. And in the meantime, enjoy all the good. You see, Bettina wasn't trying to free me nearly as much as she was trying to free herself and begin to live. You understand, I have to report what happened here to the sheriff.
I understand.
To me, there should be a couple more around here. Maybe upstream some way. I better have a look. That is, unless you'd like to go. No thanks. I'll hold on to these. I figured.
Get away from me.
Oh, sorry. I figured I could help.
Help! What are you doing? Why are you following me?
Following you? I wasn't following you. It's just that, well, you're way out here away from town. I thought you were lost. No, that wasn't it either. It's just that I never saw anyone quite so beautiful. Wait a minute. You better let me...
Look, I'm only going right down to that house, so just let me be.
Well, I can at least...
You heard her, mister? You turn around right off the way you come. Get off my land.
Ah, you must be Mr. Grant. I'm Nick Barkley.
I don't care who you are, and I told you to go.
Look, mister, I was just trying to help your daughter.
You don't need no help. You heard me, mister. Now, I don't want to have to use this.
Well, you better not try using that, because I got a right to be here. In case you've forgotten, Mr. Grant, this is Barkley property.
When I paid my rent money, that made it my land for the time. I don't have to suffer nobody, Barclays included. You go on now. Leave us our privacy.
But I told you to go. Yeah, I'd say you made that pretty plain.
But didn't you tell him who you were?
First thing. But I may as well have told him I come to poison his well. Thank you, Silas. Oh, Silas!
Don't you like your coffee hot, Mr. Nick?
Drink some water, drink some water.
It's your trouble, Nick. You just jump right in before you know the temperature.
Well, he could have told me.
Well, I was talking about that girl. You know, if I was her father, I might have got a little heated up, too.
All right, Heath.
Jared, you rented the place to him. What sort of a man is he?
Just a farmer. He didn't really say very much. I didn't know he had a wife or a daughter old enough to interest Nick. Anyway, I just didn't ask him too many questions after he paid a half a year's rent in advance.
Well, that's strange, isn't it? For that kind of money, he could have bought a place instead of renting it.
Well, maybe he figured he couldn't get credit to finance the rest or just had cash on hand. Anyway, Nick, you realize that legally you invaded the man's privacy.
Well, still, the shooting was uncalled for.
Well, I have to go out there and check on a couple of things, so I'll speak to him about it.
Oh, well, I'll go with you.
No, it's not necessary, Nick. I can handle it all alone.
Oh, well, excuse me.
But you know, it's strange that Jerry didn't find out more about those people before he rented to them.
Well, he never mentioned them at all. And that's even stranger.
Oh, looky here. It's our tenants, the Grants. They're right back.
Nick, wait.
No, they can't be paying rent on the town street. I guess I can talk to her here.
You know, Jared's waiting. We're 40 minutes late already.
He'll wait. Morning, miss. I just thought maybe I'd check, see how your ankle's doing.
It's just fine, thank you.
Good. Mrs. Grant, my mother's looking forward to meeting you. Maybe she could drop by and pay you a visit.
No, please. You understand my husband doesn't like company. I'm sorry. Please thank her just the same.
Oh, I see. Well, my mother's going to be terribly disappointed. Maybe you could drop by and pay her a visit.
I think not. Good day, Mr. Barkley.
Well, how'd you like that?
You asked for it.
I sure did.
Hey, Nick, that wheel for your carriage is ready.
I'll pick it up tomorrow morning, Denby.
Them your new tenants out the Northwoods farm?
That's right.
Maybe I'll just drum up a little business. What's the name?
Grant. Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. This ought to be good.
Howdy there, Mr. Grant. Ladies, name's Denby, Arthur W. Denby. Blacksmith, wheelwright, carter. Keep your cutlery sharp, make you the best plowshare in the valley. Ain't that right, Mr. Clay? That's right. I got no need of those services. No telling when you might, though, is there? I'm a farrier, too. Take good care of your horse's hooves. Do all your shoeing. Do my own shoeing. Looks it, too. Better try me. That's only a joke, friend. Here, have a stoke.
I never touch the thing.
Hebron.
You don't have to be unfriendly about it.
Well, they gave you leave to talk to us.
Well, pardon me, mister. I was only trying to be neighborly. Well, what do you make of that?
Just what I expected.
What got into him?
Just plain cussedness, I'd say.
Some tenant you got. What was that name she called him?
Huh? Oh, Herman. Yeah, Herman.
I think it was Hebron.
Yeah, Hebron.
Hebron, that's what I thought. Over in Utah. Common name with them Mormons.
Mormons? Say, you don't think Grant...
Why not? You Barclays know anything about them, where they come from? And he don't smoke, never touches the thing? That's their way. And how about tea and coffee? How much does he buy?
Come to think of it, none. Not a pound since they've been here.
Of course not. They're Mormons, and that explains a lot.
Yeah, it might at that.
And they're here, in our valley.
And why not?
I'll tell you why not. Because they're no good, none of them. They call themselves saints, but they're more like devils.
Oh, now, come on. You can't dislike a man just because of his religion.
It ain't got nothing to do with religion. How come they've been driven out of every place they've ever been, way out in the wilderness to set up their own state? Now, what are they doing here?
Grant's not bothering you.
Yes, he is, just by being here. I'm telling you, no telling what's going to happen. Those people are murdering heathens.
Oh, well, now that's stupid.
Is it?
Yes.
Did you ever hear of the Mountain Meadows Massacre?
Of course, everybody's heard of that.
They say the Indians did the actual killing.
They say. But Mormons egged them on, Mormons bossed them, and Mormons probably helped them, too. A whole wagon train full of peaceful, helpless settlers murdered in cold blood. And I had an uncle and 2 cousins on that train. So you can see, I got no use for Mormons. It makes me sick to see them in this valley. And you Barclays rented them a farm.
What's the matter with Denby?
He doesn't like Mormons.
Our people that rent to him. He seems to think that the Grants are Mormons.
Well, he's right. They are.
You knew they were?
No, I guessed it.
And you forgot to mention it.
Well, I didn't think it was very important. After all, a man's religion's his own business, isn't it?
Well, now, Jared, that has nothing to do with it. It can just cause an awful lot of trouble around here is all.
Well, Grant doesn't strike me as the type who's going to stir up trouble.
Well, now, he was pretty handy with a gun.
Denby is the type.
Yeah, his type is always the problem.
Well, he isn't about to forget this none too soon.
Can you meet me back here a little later?
Well, I thought you wanted to sign those papers.
Well, I do, but I have to take care of something first. See you here about 3?
All right, fine.
Come on, I'll let you buy me a beer.
Oh, Mr. Grant? Is that the way you greet all your visitors?
We don't have no visitors. No one, none.
Well, now, I'm not exactly a visitor, am I? I stopped by as your landlord, see if there's anything you need. How's that pump?
It's all fixed. There's no need to look.
How about the roof on the shed? Need any more shingles?
Mr. Barkley, I paid you your money, and I don't need no help. Now, I appreciate your interest, but we like our privacy.
Is that the way all Mormons feel?
How'd you know that?
It wasn't really very hard to guess, Mr. Grant. I think maybe I've guessed a couple of other things, too. Might be wise for you and me to have a little talk. Put that thing away.
Come in. You're welcome, Mr. Barkley.
Mrs. Grant. And this is your daughter?
Emelina.
Miss Emelina.
I could quick make up some lemonade.
This ain't no social call. You had something on your mind.
As a matter of fact, I do. I think it'd be a good idea if we got to know a little bit more about each other.
For instance?
For instance, why you came here.
Why not? It's good farming country, ain't it?
There aren't any other Mormons here, Mr. Grant.
You ain't interested in why I come here. You're only interested in how quick you can get us away. Well, I paid my money and I ain't leaving.
Now, nobody said anything about leaving.
Well, I'm saying it. I want you out of here. Leave us alone.
I'm interested in why you left Utah to come here and hide out on this farm. Why you don't want any visitors, no contact from anybody. Now, there has to be a reason for that.
What reason would I have to hide out?
I think it's the same reason that most Mormons are hiding out now. Going out onto the desert, some to Canada, some to Mexico. And most, I'm afraid, to jail eventually.
I don't know what you're driving at.
I'm talking about the Mormons who refuse to obey the new law, who refuse to give up their plural wives. Emelina isn't your daughter.
No, she's my sister.
And I don't believe that either. She's your second wife, isn't that right?
Can't prove that.
Is this your Bible?
You leave that be.
They usually contain records. Hebron Jethers Grant, married June 12th, 1872, to Eliza May Goodhue. Married May 30th, 1878, to Mary Emelina Hewitt.
Why did you have to know? There's nothing to you.
I'm afraid it is. If only as your landlord. People already know you're Mormons. Unfortunately, that could bring trouble enough. When they find out about this.
You don't want any trouble?
No more than you.
Well, you could just forget it. You could forget you ever
I can't
saw.
do that, Mr. Grant. Now, the laws against bigamy in California are explicit. If I let you go on living here and breaking the law, I'll become an accessory to the crime. I'm simply trying to tell you that you can't live in this house under the circumstances.
You can't run me out. I won't leave. I paid.
I'll give you your money back.
I don't care. I don't want it. I won't leave.
There's no solution for you here. Can't you see that? You can go on breaking the law, but sooner or later it's going to catch up with you. If you don't do something about it, believe me, there are plenty of people who will.
Now, what am I to do?
I can't answer that. I can only tell you the consequences of doing nothing. It's your problem, your decision. You'll have to make it soon. I can't give you much more time.
4 times I had to run. As a boy, my folks burned out in Missouri, and again in Illinois, my pa dead. I turned out of Zion itself by my own people. Sent to wander homeless in the wilderness, bereft of God. And then again in Arizona, and now here. You know what that's like?
I can imagine. But you cannot live in California with 2 wives.
Well, what am I supposed to do? Give up one of them? Now, you tell me, Mr. Lawyer, which one? Now, which one of these faithful women am I supposed to give up and turn out penniless and helpless into the world? Did it ever occur to you and your lawmakers that I might love my wives, both of them equally, and they might love me? Ever occur to you that these women might be happy in this house? That these marriages are made in heaven and sanctified in the temple of the Lord? This is a house of love and peace and blessed harmony, a house of God. I'm tired, lawyer. I'm tired of being spat on, reviled, and called every obscene name because of what I believe, because of the way I worship my God. I'm tired of having my marriage defiled and my wife's names sullied and treated like the filth of the earth. I've had enough of it, and I won't take any more of it, and I won't run away from it. I believe what I've done is right. I'm good and righteous in the name of the Lord, and I will be judged by him and by no other. Not by you, not by anybody in this valley, not by anybody else.
Get out, Mormons! We don't want you here! Get out of our valley!
I'll kill him! They got no right to do that!
Give me that rifle. Don't be a fool, man. Give it to me. You let me take care of this. Now, Denby, you be smart. Ride off and leave these people alone.
What are you doing here, Jared? This ain't your fight.
I'm making it mine.
Well, I ain't got nothing against you. We've been friends a long time.
You're not being very friendly at the moment.
Well, it ain't you. I mean, I don't blame you for renting to him. He probably fooled you, too. But we're not gonna have any Mormons around here.
Who's we?
All of us and a lot more, too. Now, I don't want no trouble with you, Jared, but we're not gonna run from it, neither. We mean to turn them out. So maybe, you better do it first.
And if I don't?
Then we will. And folks might blame you for bringing them here, and you might not like what they do. It might not just be a busted window.
Now, you listen carefully. Ride out and don't come back. If you do, there'll be a warrant for your arrest.
You're gonna regret this, Jared.
There's your answer, Mr. Grant.
I mean to fight.
You'll lose.
Maybe not.
You haven't got a leg to stand on, legally or otherwise.
Now, what else can I do?
You can go to Mexico. Nobody will bother you there.
Run again?
Well, then there's only one other answer, isn't there?
No. Never.
Mr. Barkley?
Mrs. Grant?
I'll tend the supper.
Hebron, what Mr. Barkley says, mightn't it be right?
About what?
There's probably no other answer for us but to do like the others. Go to Mexico.
You want that? You want me to go to a foreign nation where I don't even speak their tongue? How am I going to earn a living for us? Find a farm like this one? No, we ain't come to that yet. God willing, we never will. I ain't done fighting here yet, Em.
But is fighting the answer? Won't they just hate us the harder?
Well, is running away to a foreign nation the answer? This is my country, Emelina, just as much as it is the Barclays. I was born here, and I mean to die here. I'm an American. I'm not a Mexican.
But we can't stay here.
Now, Em, you stop your fretting. You trust Hebron like you always done. I took care of you till now, didn't I?
Yes, Hebron.
And I always will. I ain't gonna desert you. Neither one of you. So don't you worry. Lord's gonna take care of us. And provide like you always done.
Well, I told you he'd make it, Heath.
5 minutes to 3, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Well, how was your little trip out to the Grants? What'd you find out?
Found out your taste is improving, for one thing.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
You're not running in luck, Nick.
Huh? How's that?
Lady's already married.
Huh? The young one?
Her name's Emelina, and she's Mrs. Grant.
Oh, what about the other one?
She's Mrs. Grant, too. Sign here, here, and here.
Of course, Mormon. Well, that explains why he didn't want anyone around.
Yep.
So? What'd you say to him?
Told him I'd give him a little time to decide what to do.
Meanwhile, you keep all this to yourself. Isn't that what you call being an accomplice, Brother Jared?
It is. So what am I supposed to do? Run down the middle of town, tell Denby, tell the sheriff, have him arrest him, throw him in jail? What good would that do those two women?
Well, now, that is his problem, isn't it? I mean, a man isn't supposed to be married to two women at the same time.
What if he loves them both equally, Nick?
Well, I doubt that.
Says he does.
Well, he can just give up one of them.
What if they both love him?
Look, the man is old enough to be Emelina's father. Now, she'd be better off without him.
Sounds like a little wishful thinking.
I'll tell you what is wishful thinking. If this little problem goes any further, it's all gonna blow up in our face.
Well, Nick, I told him I was going to give him a little time, and that's what I'm going to do.
Whoa! Evening, storekeeper. We need some supplies, some flour, lard, and some cartridges.
Came too late. Already closed.
But we drove all the way in here.
Can't help it. Well, they picked a decent time of day. I don't know why a body'd wait till so late. Unless they was afraid they were going to be seen by somebody.
Now, look. You'd open up again for some other man, wouldn't you?
I might, and I might not.
Well, my money's as good as anybody else's.
Please, Mr. Clay.
I'd like to oblige for your sake, Mrs. Grant, but
Now, you deal with me. I'll take my trade somewhere else next time.
Just as soon you did. Where'll you go? Not everybody will deal with you.
You know what you are?
Hebron!
A swine, a filthy swine. Now, you get in that store.
Get your stinking hands off of me!
You Mormon.
Oh, Hebron. Oh. Look what you've done to my husband.
You? You too? Both of you? Well, I'll be...
Oh, Emelina.
'Living in sin right in our midst. Not to mention him flouting the law. If he's got 2 wives now, he'll be looking for more. No decent folks in the valley will be safe.
Well, what about it, Jared? You're the one man in town knows anything at all about the Grants. Is it true or isn't it?
Yes, it's true, Fred. He's married to both of them.
You just never got around to telling me.
Well, I didn't know for sure myself until yesterday, and I felt I had to give the man a little time to make his decision.
You had no right to do that, Jared.
I know I didn't. I was hoping maybe we could solve this thing without anyone getting hurt. What are you going to do now?
Only thing I can do. Arrest him.
Mean a long sentence, Fred. Courts are being awful tough on these cases.
Yeah, I know.
Leave those 2 women alone, nobody to support them.
Well, that's not my problem, and I might add it's not yours either.
I don't know, Fred. Maybe it is. When the law works this kind of hardship on people.
Jared, you're a lawyer. You know every law works a hardship on somebody. But that fact in itself isn't enough to keep us from doing the jobs we have to do.
I know, but can it really hurt Fred to give the man just a little more time?
A little more time? That law was passed 2 years ago.
And Grant married his second wife 2 years before that. That law is retroactive. It penalizes people for doing something that wasn't a crime when they did it.
Stands up in court.
I'm talking about justice, Fred. How we enforce this law is the measure of our humanity.
You, been over at the saloon and heard Denby?
Yeah.
Time's running out, Jarrett. And it may be that I won't be able to give him time. So you tell him to hurry up.
I'll go out and see him this afternoon. And thanks, Fred.
Still working on the shed?
Yes.
It's coming along fine, isn't it?
fine.
Such a nice farm. The best we've ever had. Hebron likes it here.
Well, they'll drive us out again, Eliza. Mr. Barkley says so.
Please, sister, don't talk about it. It upsets me so.
But, Eliza, you can't just ignore it.
I leave such things to Hebron. So should you. He'll know what to do, and God will provide.
Hebron can be wrong.
Of course, dear. But God can't.
Eliza, what if there were just one of us?
Now, sister, you know I don't like to talk of death.
Oh, no, not death. I'm talking about the law. It says that we both shouldn't be living with Hebron.
That's a bad law, and I don't talk about such things. I don't even think about them. Hebron will know what to do.
Yes. You've always had Hebron or someone to look after things for you, haven't you?
I've been very fortunate, Emelina.
Well, I haven't. I've had to look out for myself. He would get along fine with just one of us. And there wouldn't be any more trouble from the law or anyone else.
Sister, I don't understand you. You shouldn't even think about such things. We're here, the three of us, and happy.
Oh, Eliza, I'm sorry. I won't talk about it anymore. I'm going out for a while.
All right, dear, don't be long.
Well, it's about time we met, Mrs. Grant.
You're so kind. And I wasn't even sure you'd receive me.
Why not? I admire your devotion to what you believe is right.
Well, that's just it, Mrs. Barkley. I'm not so sure what is right anymore. Oh, I don't mean my religion. I mean the plural marriage. And it's not that I'm unhappy. I'm not. It's just that since they passed this law...
I understand.
Well, Hebron says that there's a higher law that we must obey. But if they send him to prison, I think it would kill him. And I don't think the Lord would ask that.
Have you talked this over with your husband?
Oh, yes. But Hebron is a steadfast man. And when he's sure in what he believes, well, it's very difficult to change his mind. I've talked about Mexico a lot. But he doesn't want to go.
It might be for the best.
I know. But I can't force him. And I think there may be another way that would be better.
What other way?
Well, I've thought and thought about it. And that's why I've come to see your son. He's a lawyer, and he could advise me about, well, a divorce.
For you?
Well, Hebron could get along with just one of us. And Eliza's been with him longer. Besides, she needs someone. I don't. I can manage by myself. And one of the reasons Hebron married me was so that I could give him children when Eliza hadn't given him any. But I haven't either.
Well, what about your feelings?
I'd rather know that he were free than in jail.
Mrs. Grant, you must be very sure about this.
Do you think your son can handle it?
You can ask him yourself.
Mother, it's nice to see you, Mrs. Grant.
Mrs. Grant would like to ask you something.
Oh? What can I do for you?
Mr. Barkley, will you get me a divorce? You were right. We can't go on together.
You're doing the wisest thing possible, Mrs. Grant. Does your husband know? Well, he has to be told, of course.
I'll tell him as soon as
Knowing your husband, I think it'd be better if I approach him first. She can stay here till I get back. Don't you worry, everything will be all right.
I don't believe you. What have you done to her? Turned her against me?
Now, calm down, Grant. You've got to see this thing the way it really is. You're the one who's forced her into this, and you know it.
What do you mean?
I mean you can't go on breaking the law or fighting it. She sees that even if you don't.
No, I won't let her. She can't do it.
I'm afraid it's out of your hands.
I won't let her! I'll bring her back if I have to kill all
Now,
you
wait a minute,
Grant.
Hold it.
Now, come for my wife.
Yes, we have been expecting you.
And I'll use this if I have to.
Now, when are you going to stop playing hero, and when are you going to get through that thick head of yours that you're not going to fight the world all by yourself? Huh?
Now, why don't you put that thing down right there? And as soon as you decide to start acting like a gentleman, then you will be fully welcome into our home.
How's that?
There now, isn't that better?
Where's Jared?
You never mind that. Where's my wife? What'd you do with her?
Oh, we haven't done anything with...
You turned her against her unlawful husband. I seen you casting eyes at her from the first day.
You're not making much sense, Mr. Grant. Your wife makes a great deal more.
You can't tell me my wife would decide to go away from me all by herself without being pushed into it.
Then I'll tell you. It's true.
Emelina. I'm not going to let you take my wife away from me. I'll fight you. I'll fight the whole country if I have to.
Oh, that's all.
And I'll have the Lord on my side.
No, Hebron, you don't. I don't think the Lord has taken sides in this. Anyway, I don't want you to fight.
You don't mean you really want to leave me?
Not want to, Hebron. Have to, don't you see?
No, I don't. No, you don't, Emily. Now, listen, we'll go to Mexico just like you want.
You don't really mean that.
Yes, I do. I always meant to. Only now we'll leave right away. Tonight. Tomorrow.
You'll never be happy there.
Yes, I will. Only, Em, you gotta come back to me. I can't do without you. I love you.
Do you really promise about going to Mexico?
I promise.
And there'll be no more fight.
No, I'll never use that gun for nothing but squirrels.
I'm mighty glad to hear that.
Oh, Mr. Barkley. I'm truly sorry.
Forget it. One of the hazards of the legal profession, I guess.
I just went out of my head. I don't know what I was doing.
Mr. Barkley, we're going to Mexico.
Mexico. Well, then I'd say the sooner you get started, the better.
We'll start packing that wagon right away. Tonight. How's that?
Mr. Grant, you're going to Mexico, you're going to need this.
What's that for?
It's the balance of your rent money.
You're a fair man, Mr. Barkley. I'm awful sorry about your head.
Hebron.
About time, Clay. You got the kerosene?
Outside on the buckboard. But Denby, you sure about this? You know that house belongs to the Barkleys.
What do you care? They got it coming to them for letting them Mormons in. Now let's go.
this is all foolishness. I really don't see any need of doing all this tonight.
Well, you told Mr. Barkley.
No.
And you took his money.
No.
Well, you don't want to cause him any more trouble.
Well, what trouble can there be tonight? I mean, what's it matter if we wait till the morning or the next day, for that matter?
Well, you just don't know what might happen. And we've already caused that family enough upset. Now, you promised.
I know, but you see, Em...
Hebron!
All right. I was just making talk. Don't mean anything. Now...
You want to help me with the sideboard, Hebron?
Liza, I don't see how we can take that.
We can't leave it behind. You just made it special.
We have to. We can't take everything. It's going to be a hard enough trip.
Is it a long way, Hebron?
To Chihuahua? It's a long way. A lot of country in between. Good country, though. Farming and ranching.
And all in the United States. With its laws.
Now, Em, I wasn't suggesting a thing. Even though we might find places, lonely places, where a body could settle in and never see an outsider from 1 month to the next. But no, sir, we're going straight to Mexico. Never you fear. I made you promise, and I'm going to keep it.
How long will it take, Hebron, to get there?
About a month, maybe more, depending.
On what?
Well, on the weather, mostly. It ain't the right time of year for it. One thing we could do with all that time on the road, we can learn some of the language. Don't none of us speak a word of Spanish.
How will we learn?
Find me one of them books somewhere along the road.
I don't know if I can learn, Hebron. I never was much good at foreign tongues.
Well, neither am I, but we gotta try. We have to. And we will. We will. We'll do just fine. You'll see. Now, don't you worry. We'll do just fine.
Yes. But not like here.
Well, no, not exactly.
It was nice here.
But at least we ain't getting run out. It's my own decision.
Is it? Oh, maybe it'd have been better if I...
Now, Em, you hush. This is the way I want it. It's going to be all right. Now, stop your worrying. You just leave all that to Hebron. Like Eliza here does. I'll take good care of you.
And God will provide.
Sure he will. You just leave everything to Hebron and my Lord.
Grant! Grant!
Yeah, what do you want?
Hebron, you promised.
I told you Mormons to get out. You should have listened. You had your chance.
We're doing that, can't you see? We're packing to go.
No, we ain't budging. I won't be run off.
But Hebron, please, you promised.
I won't be run off, I tell you. You hear that, blacksmith? We're not budging.
Hold it. None of that now.
Oh, please, for God's sakes, don't do this. Tell them we're going. Tell them.
I can't do that. Don't you see, Em? I can't do that. I can't be humiliated by swine like that anymore. I won't be run out of my home, out of my country. I won't be. I'd rather die.
But you promised.
Sorry, Em. I gotta do it. I gotta fight back. I couldn't live with myself if I didn't.
They'll kill you.
I can't help that. I got to. What are they doing? What are they doing?
You get the idea? Now you gonna come out or shall we burn you out?
Oh, Hebron.
I can't. Even if I die for it, I can't. Come on and get me!
We'll die.
Pray, Emelina, pray. Kind Heavenly Father, Lord God of hosts, sinners. All right, let's go. I got it, Nephi. Got it, Moroni. Save us, thy servants. Smite the sinners. Raise up thy saints. Thank God. Yeah! The Lord answered my prayer.
Well, Mr. Grant, wagon's all loaded and ready to go.
Thank you. Sure am sorry about the farm.
Nothing that can't be fixed. The most important thing is you're all still alive.
Yes. Well, we'll be leaving then.
Have a nice trip.
Thank you.
Got a lot of work to get done back at the ranch, so good luck to you.
Thank you.
Jared?
Eliza, get on in.
Whoops, better not forget this one.
Oh, no. That's mine. It stays.
Stays? What do you mean, Emelina?
I'm not going, Hebron.
What are you talking about? You know we can't stay
Not
here.
we. Me.
Em, I don't understand.
I was right the first time. I'm getting that divorce.
Do you know what you're saying?
Yes. I'm saying you're not the only man in the world.
But I'm your husband. You love me.
I did once. I'm not so sure anymore. Somehow you're not the man I thought. Anyway, I'm sure I can get over it. I want the chance to try.
But, Em, I love you.
I suppose you do, Hebron. In your own way. But, somehow that's not enough anymore.
But...
No. Go with Eliza. Don't you understand, Hebron? I don't love you anymore. Now go.
Sister.
Goodbye, Eliza.
I don't understand this, but I'll miss you.
I'll miss you too. Goodbye, sister.
Emelina,
Goodbye, Hebron.
I don't know what you're doing. You always did have a mind of your own.
You've always hated it.
Well, maybe so, but I loved it too. Goodbye.
Mr. Barkley, would you take me to the railroad station?
Of course I will. Where are you going to go, Emelina?
Back to Utah, I think. I know people there.
What about the divorce?
There won't be a divorce. But he won't know that, will he? And it'll be all right.
A very poor defense, Mr. Scanlon. I suggest you get yourself a good lawyer. You will have some coffee, won't you, Jared?
Yes, please. Well, what's all this? Little homework?
The Cunningham case.
Oh, yes. Well, I'd say from the looks of this, you finally got something on him.
I have. Receipts, affidavits, depositions. I can prove his men dynamited the Collier Dam. Everything there points to the fact that his motive was to buy up the flooded farms cheap.
That sounds a little like an opening address to a jury.
It might be. And this time, there's going to be no tampering with the jury, no bribery of witnesses, no falsifying evidence. This time, Mr. Joshua T. Cunningham is going to find out that he is not above the law. He is going to prison, Jared.
You go after him like that in court, and I'll bet on you. But you know, Jim, I'm curious about one thing.
What's that, Jared?
Well, Cunningham and his lawyer are no fools. They know you're the best prosecuting attorney in California. I'm surprised they haven't moved for a change of venue.
They did. Judge Farnham denied the motion. It's beginning to dawn on Mr. Cunningham that the days of the freebooters in this state are over.
I hope you're right.
Would you excuse me?
Thank you.
I'll get it.
Thank you, Miss Arthur.
Hello, Mr. Gaines. Come in.
Hello, Audrey. Is Jared home?
Yes, he's in the library.
Hello, Howard. How are you?
As well as could be expected after what happened to Jim Scanlon the other night.
Yes. Jim was gifted and honest. Two things Cunningham couldn't cope with. Except with a shotgun.
How is Mrs. Scanlon?
Well, she went up to Sacramento to stay with her sister.
Mother went with her, so she wouldn't have to travel alone.
Well, Howard, sit down.
We're about to have lunch. Will you join us?
No. Thank you, Audrey. Well, to get to the point of my visit. As you know, it's my job as chairman of the County Board of Supervisors to appoint an acting district attorney to replace Jim Scanlon until an election can be called.
That shouldn't be difficult.
Well, under ordinary circumstances, I'd appoint Mark Bromley. He was Scanlon's assistant for 2 years. He's acquainted with the work of the office. But
what?
Bromley's young, inexperienced. He's never prosecuted a case on his own. Cunningham's lawyer would tear him to pieces and feed him to the jury, one bite at a time. I guess you know why I'm here.
I think you underestimate Mark. He's young, he's smart and clever. He has the advantage of having helped Jim prepare the Cunningham case. He knows it inside and out.
And he also knows Cunningham, and he's scared.
Well, then there must be other lawyers.
None as qualified as you are, Jared. Once you served as assistant district attorney.
Yes, and I was about the same age that Mark is now, and just as scared. Believe me, he'll get over it.
Jared,
No, Audra.
how can you say no? Jim was your best friend.
And that's exactly why I won't prosecute Cunningham.
I don't understand.
If Cunningham's lawyer is as smart as I think he is, he's going to try and convince that jury that I'm not prosecuting his client because he blew up Collier Dam, but because I'm trying to avenge the death of a friend. He'll pose Cunningham as the victim of some kind of personal vendetta and probably get away with it.
I don't think that's valid, Jared.
Neither do I. The jury will judge the facts.
Maybe, and maybe not. I don't intend to take the gamble.
All right, Jared. All I could do was try.
Audra?
Jared, who else?
I've made my decision, Audra.
All right. I just hope you don't regret it.
Come in, Jared. I hope you don't mind if we made ourselves at home. Mason had a key that happened to fit the lock. Sit down, Jared.
What do you want?
Well, I've got a problem, Jared. The State Land Office is starting hearings next week in Sacramento on a new open range policy. Now, I'm interested in getting my views before the board. As you know, I'm stuck here in Stockton because of this stupid dynamiting charge the state has against me. It occurred to me that I could hire you to represent me in Sacramento. Hearings will last 4, maybe 5 weeks. Make it worth your while.
Get out of here, Cunningham.
$1,000 a week and expenses. How's that sound?
Get out.
Too busy to take the job.
I'm always busy. You'll get a bill for that.
That's enough, Corral. There's talk around town you may be appointed acting district attorney.
Is there?
I heard Howard Gaines was up to your place yesterday. I asked you to take the job.
Remarkable how you keep your ear to the ground.
I assume you accepted.
You know, you could have saved yourself this masterful attempt to buy me off.
What?
I turned Gaines down.
I think you made a very wise decision, John. Whatever you may think of my offer to represent me before the land office, it still stands. It's yours if you change your mind.
I think I just did.
What?
Changed my mind.
What?
You're much too anxious to have an inexperienced assistant like Mark Bromley prosecute your case. So I'm going to be in that courtroom when your trial opens. And I'm not going to let up on you until I put a rope around that rotten throat of yours for the murder of Jim Scanlon. Now, for the last time, get out.
now I'll be looking for that bill from you, Barkley. You'll get paid.
Sure don't make noise like they used to. I hadn't noticed.
It's a fact. It is a fact.
Well, now that's fascinating information. Nick, do you mind? Oh, I just think. Oh, chips all over the place here. Yeah, that's better. Oh, sure don't make knives like they used to. They also don't make desks like they used to. Look, Nick, why don't you go get something to eat? I'm not hungry. What do you mean you're not hungry? You're always hungry. All right. I'll get it. Who is it?
Mark Bromley.
Here, Mark.
Hi, Nick. Evening, Jared.
Hello, Mark. Glad you could make it.
Here's the last of Mr. Scanlon's file on the Cunningham case.
Thanks.
If there's anything more I can do, don't hesitate to let me know.
Mark. I kind of feel I should apologize for taking this case.
Apologize? Why?
Well, it would have been quite a chance for you to make a name for yourself.
It's a great chance for me to fall flat on my face, too. The important thing is to get Joshua Cunningham, Jared. Maybe I could have. Maybe he isn't good enough. I know you can.
Thanks, Mark.
Good night.
Here, Mark.
Good night.
Howdy. Oh, now this is too much.
What'd I say?
Look, one well-intentioned brother is enough, but two is impossible. Now, look, why don't you get out of here and go get something to eat so I can get some work done? Out. Oh, now, wait a minute. Just go get yourself a beer, anything. Only leave me alone so I can work.
One condition.
What's that?
You don't budge from this office.
I promise.
Beer?
Beer.
Beer.
All right, let's go.
Jared! Jared, you all right?
I can't see, Nick.
What do you mean? Jared!
I can't see.
Now I'm going to expose your eyes to different degrees of light. Tell me if you see anything at all. Anything?
Nothing.
Keep trying. Anything?
I can feel the heat, but that's all.
I'll be back in just a moment.
Nothing? Is it permanent?
I can't tell.
Well, what do you mean you can't tell? You just examined him, didn't you?
Go on, Doctor.
The two major causes for sudden blindness are damage to the optic nerve or an hysterical blindness brought on by an emotional shock.
Which is it with Jared?
I can't be sure yet, but if damage has been done to the optic nerve, then blindness is permanent.
And if it's shock?
Then there's a chance he can recover. When or how soon, I don't know. We can only wait. But in the meantime...
In the meantime, he's blind. Doctor, what can we do?
I don't know. I only know what you shouldn't do. Don't pity him or cry over him. Don't lead him around like a crippled puppy. Adjustment to this is going to be hard enough for him under the best of circumstances. But if you cripple him with your concern, then you'll make it impossible for him. That goes for all of you.
We understand, Doctor.
I was looking for some water. I tripped.
Well, I'm going to see Mr. Cunningham right now.
I'll go with you.
Barkley's brother. Cunningham,
Hello,
for 2
Nick.
cents, I'd give you a beating that'd make you wish you weren't born.
What credit's good, help yourself.
Just stand quiet.
Hold it!
Sorry, Sheriff. It's all just a little mistake.
Yeah, yours.
What now, Cunningham?
Came looking for trouble, madam. And they found it.
Cunningham, you just best go to prison, because I'm going to get to you.
Watch it, Nick.
I know what I'm saying, and I mean every word of it, and you know it.
All right.
You're doing fine, Mr. Barkley. Just fine.
Thank you, Silas.
Silas, would you please get me some eggs from the hen house? I'd like them now.
Yes, ma'am.
Morning, Mother.
Good morning, Jared.
Well, it seems I'm on my own.
You've lived in this house all your life. You know it by heart.
No more pampering, huh?
Isn't that the way you want it?
All right. Here we go. How was that?
Very good.
It was wonderful.
Audra? Well, I'm in the foyer, so there should be a little table right over here. Right about here. Right here. The living room is right over there. The archway is right up there, so the... should be about 1, 2, 3. Four steps.
Don't stop now.
All right, let's try the living room. There should be some chairs right over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
It's fine.
The drapes are open.
How could you tell?
I can feel the warmth of the sun.
Jared, Nick took the crystal off your watch. You can tell the time by touching the hand.
Remind me to thank him.
I'll fix you some breakfast.
10 after 9, right?
That's right.
What day is it? I mean, how long has it been since?
3 days.
10 after 9, day, night, they're just words now. It's like living on the dark side of the moon. You can run along now, Audra. I'll be all right. Who's that? Mother? Audra?
It's Sharon.
Sharon?
Jared?
Sharon, what are you doing back here?
I came back as soon as I heard about what happened.
Yes, well, I was hoping maybe you wouldn't hear. Seems to me you've already had enough.
I'm all right now, thank you, Jared. I brought you dinner.
Yes, I know. Ham, isn't it? Baked.
Show off. There, now you eat and I'll talk.
Sharon, I wonder if you'd mind not staying.
Oh?
Well, you see, what I euphemistically refer to as my awkward situation is, well, it's particularly acute at mealtime.
Jared, I understand.
Do you? No, I don't think you really do. Maybe a little demonstration. Now, the meat, now that's not particularly a problem, but the vegetables, oh, those vegetables, now that is the real challenge. Now, let's see. Perhaps now you can understand why I prefer to eat alone. I can afford myself the luxury of using my fingers.
We'll talk later then.
Yes.
Jared.
Yes, I asked Sharon to leave.
Well, she was only trying to help. You can't go on like this. Well,
Jared. Do you know an attorney by the name of Marvin Sanders?
Yeah, he's Cunningham's lawyer.
Well, he and Cunningham just had a powwow in Sanders' suite at Stockton House.
Well, what of it?
You know who else was there?
Now, how would I...
Mark Bromley. Now, if Bromley's going to prosecute, what was he doing meeting with Cunningham and his attorney?
That could be an explanation.
Mm-hmm, including the fact that Bromley sold out. Cunningham either scared him off or paid him off, or a little bit of both.
You can't be sure of that.
Well, then what was Bromley doing sneaking out the back door of that hotel?
He did what?
I saw him.
The meeting still could have been innocent enough.
Perhaps so. But can you take that chance?
What do you mean, me?
You're still acting district attorney of this county.
Well, a simple letter of resignation will take care of that if someone will be kind enough to write it for me.
It's too late for that. If Mark Bromley has sold out, the rest is up to you.
I can't go into that courtroom. I can't do it.
Yes, you can. Now listen to me, Jared. Nothing has been decided. Perhaps one day you will see again. But if and when that day comes, it won't mean a thing if you can't stand the sight of yourself.
Do it.
The jury having been sworn, we will proceed with opening statements. Are you ready for the state, Mr. Bromley?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Sanders?
The defense is ready, Your Honor.
You may proceed, Mr. Bromley.
What's he doing here?
Your Honor, I apologize for this interruption.
That's quite all right, Mr. Barkley.
As acting district attorney, I assigned Mr. Bromley to this case. However, I've changed my mind. It's my intention to prosecute the case myself.
Very well, Mr. Barkley, if you're prepared to proceed immediately.
I am, Your Honor.
Mr. Bromley, we may need those.
Yeah, I'm scared.
Well, there's no need to be. You will be right here in case you need it.
Look at the jury. They're already beginning to sympathize with Barkley. I should do something. You try. Your Honor, this sudden change in prosecutors comes as a complete surprise to the defense. Had I known Mr. Barkley was going to be my adversary, I might have planned my case with more of an eye to...
An eye to what, Mr. Sanders?
It's a delicate matter, Your Honor, and I'm loath to bring it up, but in fairness to my client, I feel I must. I'm referring to Mr. Barkley's blindness and the fact that the sympathy and compassion that we all have for him will exert an undue influence on the jury in arriving at a verdict.
Your Honor. One moment, Mr. Barkley. What are you proposing, Mr. Sanders?
Well, in justice to my client, Your Honor, I respectfully request that Mr. Barkley withdraw from the case.
Mr. Barkley?
I have no intentions of withdrawing, Your Honor.
Well, in that case, Your Honor, I suggest that the defendant cannot receive a fair and impartial hearing in this court.
Mr. Sanders?
If he could, he would be acquitted, and Mr. Barkley knows that. And that's the reason for his sudden and dramatic takeover of this case. He's come here not to prosecute the defendant, but to persecute him. He says to the jury, forget the evidence. Convict Joshua Cunningham because you pity me. No. Yes, Mr. Barkley. You've come here to wave your affliction and helplessness around in the face of the jury like a flag.
You shut up. Order. Now, I warn you, Mr. Barkley, I will tolerate no such outbursts in my court. Sit down, sir.
Nick. Your Honor, I move for a mistrial.
Motion denied. When you're ready, Mr. Barkley.
Gentlemen, I'll be brief. It's the state's contention in this case that on June 24th last, Collier Dam was dynamited. Dynamite planted at the instigation of the defendant. Now, the state will offer conclusive evidence of this. We will further introduce evidence that will show that the motive of the defendant
was simply to...
I'm all right, Nick. I'm all right. Let me alone.
Are you all right, Mr. Barkley?
Yes, I'm fine. Now, gentlemen, as I was saying, the state will offer conclusive evidence that the... Get me out of here. Get me out.
The court will recess until 9 o'clock tomorrow morning.
How about a drink?
No, thank you. Tearing a blind man apart isn't something I care to celebrate.
Here you go, right here. Right here.
Well, I think somebody better tell Bromley the job is all his.
You don't mean that. Jared, what did you expect when you walked into that courtroom? Didn't you know Cunningham's lawyer would tear into you?
Yes. Yes, but I hoped I'd be able to take it.
You can.
Will you stop it? You stop trying to tell me how brave I am. I was lost out there. A lawyer has to be able to see. He has to look into a witness's eyes and know whether he's telling the truth or not. He has to know what effect he's having on the judge, the jury. He can't plead his case to the wall. Take me home.
Jared, I'm not going to insult you by saying I know how you feel. I don't know. No one does. But one thing I'm sure of, and it frightens me just as much as that courtroom frightened you, that if you don't do this, you'll never do anything. You'll just sit in darkness for the rest of your life being afraid, always afraid.
I need more time.
I don't believe that. Time is your enemy, not your friend. Time will only ask for more time. Shall we go?
I just feel so helpless out there.
You don't have to, Jared.
What are you going to do? Whittle me a pair of eyes?
You can hear, can't you? And you still have a memory. And you're going to learn that courtroom. You're going to get to know every inch of it, every stick of furniture and every crack in that floor. By tomorrow morning, you're going to feel as much as home in that courtroom as if you built it yourself.
1, 2, 3. Your Honor? One, 2, 3. Now, how was that?
Good.
Tired?
Tired. That's too bad. We're just getting started.
Now, Nick, you just said
I
it
said
was...
it was good. I didn't say it was perfect. That's what it's got to be tomorrow morning when you walk into this courtroom.
It's important, Jared.
Yeah. One, 2, 3. One, 2, 3, 4. And so, gentlemen of the jury, on the basis of the evidence and the evidence alone, the state is confident that you will find Joshua T. Cunningham guilty. Your Honor, I call Simon Templeton. And as proprietor of the Dry Forks General Store, did you, on the afternoon of June 21st, sell an unusually large amount of dynamite?
I did.
I now hand you this receipt and ask if you recognize it.
I do. It's a receipt for the dynamite I sold.
And to whom is that receipt made out?
Joshua T. Cunningham.
Your Honor, the state offers this receipt in evidence. Well, I wonder if I might trouble you gentlemen for a glass of water. Thank you. On June 21st, you were in Daleburg, more than 100 miles from Collier Dam.
How many more times I gotta answer that?
Once more, Mr. Carell. Yes! Come now, Mr. Carell, even I can see that you are lying.
Objection?
Sustained. Mr. Barkley, you know better than to make a remark like that.
My apologies, Your Honor. You're excused, Mr. Carell. Call Amy Carter.
That's right. I own the Big Nugget on the Dry Forks Road, about 2 miles above Collier Dam.
And on the evening of the 21st, did several men come in for a drink?
Yeah.
Did you know them?
No.
Could you recognize them if you saw them again?
Sure.
Miss Carter, are any of those men in this courtroom now?
3 of them. Him, and him.
You gotta make a liar out of that Carter woman when you cross-examine her.
I'll do my best.
You give me up.
I'll play out the hand, Cunningham. But you might as well face it. Barkley's got you right by the throat.
What if something should happen, Tom? An accident, for instance.
I don't want to hear talk like that.
We'll bring Bromley back into the case. I'd still have a chance. Good night, Sanders.
Good night.
How about some coffee?
Ah, that's what I need. When did Heath and Nick say they'd be back?
Oh, they'll be riding herd until morning.
I thought it was kind of quiet around here.
Barkley. Mrs. Barkley? Dr. Marat sent me.
Dr. Marat?
Your son Heath's been hurt in a fall from his horse. Nick took him to the doc in town. The doc thinks you better come.
Silas, get the buggy.
And Silas, I want you in order to go with her.
Yes, sir. I'll get back to town.
Now run along. I'll be all right. Run along.
Come on, I know it's you. You're the only man in town that wears those fancy Mexican spurs. Isn't that Mason with you? I can smell that cheap pomade a mile away. And where you have Mason and Corral, you usually have Cunningham. Isn't that right?
That's right, Bartlett.
So Heath wasn't hurt after all. Just a ruse to get me alone.
You thought you had the rope around my throat, Barkley.
You'll never get away with this.
That's possible. It's also possible that I can. If you're not in court on Monday morning, Bromley takes over.
Bromley can't help you now.
He can if he agrees to a mistrial. And I think he can be persuaded that such a motion is in order. Stand up.
He said, get up.
Don't fight it, Barkley.
All right, Cunningham. What are you going to do with me?
You're going to have an accident. There's an open well out back. You went out to get some fresh air. You got confused, stumbled, fell into the well, and drowned.
Take a look outside.
All clear.
Bring him along.
All right, Bartley. Let's go.
Corral!
Corral?
Corral!
6.
Let's try a window. Get some light in here. Well? Where is he? Where is he?
I don't know. He busted the lamp.
You look upstairs, I'll check the kitchen.
Looks like he busted them all.
minute. Come on.
Barclay! You two have your guns out? Drop them. Better tell them to drop them.
Do as he says.
One at a time so I can hear him fall.
I can take him.
Come on, try it. We'll see which one gets it first, me or your friend here.
No, Corell.
Let me hear it fall, Corell. I'll kick him over here where I can feel him. All right. Now you two get out of here. You get on your horses and let me hear you ride just as fast as you can.
Do as he says.
We're gonna get up, Cunningham. Nice and easy. All right, there's a chair over there. Walk to it, nice and easy. You're gonna sit in that with this gun in your head until somebody comes to take you off my hands.
Imagine it's been a pretty long 3 weeks for you, Jared.
The longest of my life, Doctor.
Now let's get on with the work. Try these first 3 lines. Are those letters still blurred for you?
Huh? Oh, M-T-E-L-E-H.
Fine. Now go on with the next one.
F-D-P-L-T-C-E-O.
Pretty good, even though you did get a little ahead of it.
But, Doctor, that's not...
Not the second line, no. It's even better.
F-D-P... Oh, Jared.
Oh, Jared. Oh.
There's no doubt about it, Jared. You're as good as new. You're very fortunate that there wasn't any damage to the optic nerve.
Thank you, Doctor. Thanks for everything.
Well, we got some fences to mend.
Yeah, we're very glad for you, Jared. Right now, we got to get to work.
Hold it a minute, Nick. What? Could you boys use a little help?
Well,
Well, how do we sure could?
Well, I'm your man.
You're not serious.